A suspected suicide bomber blew himself up among a crowd of people celebrating the Prophet Muhammad's birthday in southwestern Pakistan on Friday, killing at least 52 people and wounding nearly 70 others. Authorities said, in one of the country's deadliest attacks targeting civilians in months. An open area near a mosque was left strewn with the shoes of the dead and wounded. TV footage and videos on social media showed. Bodies lay covered with bed sheets. Residents and rescuers were seen rushing the wounded to hospitals. No one immediately claimed responsibility for the attack in Mastung, a district of Baluchistan province. But suspicion is likely to fall on the militant Islamic State group's regional affiliate, which has claimed previous deadly bombings around Pakistan. IS carried out an attack days earlier in the same area after one of its commanders was killed there. On Friday, around 500 people had gathered for a procession from the mosque to celebrate the birth of the Prophet, known as Maulid an-Nabi. Similar events were held in communities across Pakistan, often including parades of children in traditional garb. The blast went off before the Mastung procession was to begin. Among the wounded seen at hospital were a number of young boys, bloodied and wrapped in bandages, though the full number of children among the casualties was not immediately known. Some of the wounded were in a critical condition, Government Administrator Ada Ullah said. 30 bodies were taken to one hospital and 22 were counted at another, said Abdul Rashid, the district health officer in Mastung. A senior police officer, Muhammad Nawaz, was among the dead, Ullah said. Officers said they suspect the attack was carried out by a suicide bomber. Friday's bombing came days after authorities asked police to remain on maximum alert, saying militants could target rallies for Maulid an-Nabi. Also Friday, a blast ripped through a mosque located on the premises of a police station in Hangu, a district in the north-western Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, killing at least 5 people and wounding 7, said Shahraz Khan, a local police officer. Khan said 2 suicide bombers approached the mud brick mosque and while guards shot and killed one, the other managed to reach the mosque and set off his explosives. The mosque collapsed with about 40 people inside worshipping. Most of them police officers, officials said. Rescuers were pulling people from the rubble, Khan said. No one claimed responsibility for the attacks in Mastung and Hangu. The Pakistani Taliban, the country's main militant group, denied any role in either attack and denounced them. Known at Tehrik-e-Taliban, or TTP, Pakistani Taliban has waged a campaign of violence that usually hits government or security targets, and it has repeatedly said it does not target places of worship or civilians. The TTP is separate from the Afghan Taliban but closely allied to them and has increased its attacks since the group seized power in neighboring Afghanistan in August 2021. Suspicion is more likely to fall on the Islamic State in Khorasan province, as the IS affiliate in Afghanistan and Pakistan is known. It has been more ruthless in attacking civilians and places of worship, often Shiite Muslim mosques but also Sunni ones like that. In Mastung, on September 14, IS set off a bomb targeting the convoy of a senior figure of a pro-Afghan Taliban political party as it passed through Mastung. The bomb wounded 11 people but the politician survived. The attack came days after police killed an IS commander in the town. The most recent major IS attack came in July, when a suicide bomber killed at least 54 people at an election rally by the same pro-Taliban party in northwest Pakistan. Pakistan's President Arif Alvi condemned Friday's attacks and asked authorities to provide all possible assistance to the wounded and the victims' families. In a statement, caretaker Interior Minister Sarfraz Bugti called the Mastung bombing a heinous act to target people in the Maulid an-Nabi procession. Also Friday, the military said 2 soldiers were killed in a shootout with Pakistani Taliban after insurgents tried to sneak into southwestern district of Zab in Baluchistan province. 3 militants were killed in the exchange, a military statement said. The gas-rich southwestern Baluchistan province at the border of Afghanistan and Iran has been the site of a low-level insurgency by Baluch nationalists for more than 2 decades. Baluch nationalists initially wanted a share of provincial resources, but they later launched an insurgency calling for independence. Pakistan has faced waves of militant violence over the years from multiple groups. In 2014, 147 people, mostly schoolchildren, were killed in a Taliban attack on an army-run school in the northwestern city of Peshawar. In recent years, the Pakistani Taliban have emerged as the most powerful group. The group is suspected in this year's deadliest bombing, in which more than 100 people were killed, in a January 30 bombing at a mosque inside a high-security compound housing Peshawar Police Headquarters. A cable car carrying 6 children and 2 adults dangles hundreds of meters above the ground in the remote Badagram district, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Pakistan on Tuesday, August 22, 2023. The cable car malfunctioned, trapping the occupants for hours before rescuers arrived in helicopters to try to free them. In Lant City, FLA, AP, 3 adults and 2 children were killed when their SUV was struck by a freight train at an unguarded crossing in central Florida, authorities said. 2 other adults are hospitalized with life-threatening injuries. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office said that just before 7 p.m. on Saturday, a Cadillac Escalade crossed the tracks into the path of a train going 55 miles per hour, 88 kilometers per hour. The crossing does not have gates or a warning bell, only a stop sign and a railroad crossing sign. Officials said the train's engineer and a nearby car both sounded their horns and the engineer tried to stop, but it was too late. The impact flipped the SUV several times, ejecting the 5 passengers who died. Sheriff Chad Chronister told reporters the SUV looked like a soft drink can that's been crushed. He said it is unclear why the SUV moved into the train's path. The word devastating doesn't even begin to describe the tragedy that unfolded here, Chronister said. Hillsborough County lost a family today, and our hearts are shattered. The names and ages of the victims have not been released. A drone shot of rescuers' work at the site of passenger train's accident, in Balasore district, in the eastern Indian state of Orissa. India train crash kills over 280, and injures 900. Train crashes at New Jersey station, 1 dead, 74 hospitalized. Rescue workers help after a school bus and a regional train collided in the village of Millis, southern France, Thursday, December 14, 2017.